Hi, so I'm at the cemetery that I always come to. There's just a spirit over there. But I brought my camera that's about to die because I wanted to take some pictures of some graves. I don't know, I'm just hanging out and I thought I'd bring you guys along with me. I don't know what's going on here, but it looks like they chopped a tree down. I don't even remember this tree being here, but this is the corner that I come hang out at a lot. If you watched the podcast episode that I filmed with Sarah on our channel, this is the grave that I was talking about, the one that was hidden in the bushes. Basically, I was standing over here and I felt called to turn around, so I did, and I saw that right through there. But you can tell it's in the bushes, and so in the summer it's completely hidden. My camera died, so just holding it for fun at this point. But down over here, this is Evelyn. I come see her a lot. She was 2 years old, born I think January 24th, 1915, passed away January 19th. Oh wow. I had a similar story to Sarah with Vivian, where I felt called to come over here and just stopped walking when I felt called to stop. A lot of these ones over here are children. We're kind of walking backwards, the loop that I usually walk. We're kind of walking it backwards. This is also an interesting type of vlog. There's a spirit following me. Because usually I would be the camera would be facing me, but not this time. I think my mission today, this is a huge, monumental grave, will be to find the oldest grave in the cemetery. There's a lot of really old ones, but there is a sign at the parking lot that talks about some of the first people buried, and Evelyn was one of them. So this cemetery has this historic part. There's also a newer part. There's more over there, and there's a second level to it. This is a lot because I'm sick right now and my lungs are not good. So I'm struggling a little bit. But we're also going to go over here to see this tree that I've started communicating with. It's this tree. I have my keys and my whistle in my hand because I'm kind of literally in the woods. There's a road beside it, but I'm literally in the woods. And there's lots of wildlife around here, but this is the tree that I have kind of started a communication with. Basically, I came over here one day. I will insert videos and pictures if I have them. And I sat on this bench. I come and sit over here a lot. And I noticed that this tree was waving at me. this one. Like its leaves were waving at me. And none of the other trees in this whole area were moving. It wasn't windy, nothing. And yeah, I basically have just started kind of communicating with it. Yeah, it's really powerful. Hello. So we're back at the cemetery. I say back because I came here yesterday, but didn't film very much because I didn't have a lot of time. And today I brought a little picnic, and I'm just gonna bring you guys along with me as I deepen my practice and learn a little bit more about this place. I've been coming here for a few years, like consistently. I come like once a month, at least. And it's very, very special to me. And today I wanted to just like bring some hot chocolate and my lunch, and there's a car like blasting music that just drove by, and just like see how it goes. I also brought my cameras to take some pictures. Yeah, I love this place. There is snow, but not everywhere, so I want to find a little spot to sit. I brought a blanket. I don't have very long, but that's okay. So I believe I found may not be the oldest person or the oldest grave, but this was one of the founding families of this area. I just noticed these ones here, hidden away. I like to really just like stand sometimes and just take my time looking around and notice all the ones that may have gone unnoticed. So I just thought that while I'm sitting here, I would go over some graveyard etiquette. If you're wondering if you want to get into visiting cemeteries or working with them. I'm like really breaking out right now. That's okay. I forgot my tripod, so I'm holding my phone. But basically, the number one rule is obviously be respectful and be polite. Don't be yelling, don't be loud. Just, watch where you're walking. It's hard, which is why I'm staying away from the areas with heavy snow, because you don't want to walk on top of a grave. I'm sitting beside, this is Evelyn. I have clips of her from yesterday that I already put in, but so trying not to sit like right up against them, unless it's of course like a family member. I don't have any family members in this cemetery. None of my family is from here, but I like to come here to research the history of the land, as well as it helps me feel connected to my past loved ones. Specifically, my great grandma, she passed away, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And just there was a little bug that just flew by. That's crazy. I just like to come because it just helps me feel closer to my loved ones that I can't go see. So yeah, be respectful, watch where you're walking. If you're leaving offerings, make sure they aren't like plastic or things that are gonna wreck the graves or the ground. Make sure it's biodegradable. Most cemeteries will have rules of things you can leave. For instance, this one is only real flowers. You can't leave fake flowers. What else? Something I like to do is always say hello and goodbye. Leave an offering. My favorite offering is rose petals, because I can't afford to keep buying flowers. So I get dried rose petals and I just leave them on the graves that I go visit, which you saw already. Just talk to them. You'll feel their answers either in your mind's eye or just within your body. Like you'll just have an intuitive knowing. That's my favorite way to communicate. This time I brought tarot cards, which I've never done before. I also brought my spirit box, but I don't actually have a lot of time left that I can be here because I have to go to work. But yeah, something else I like to do is, or I like to tell people, is like think of the time frame of most of the people that are buried here. This cemetery has people all the way from the Victorian era to present day, and I like to hang out in the Victorian era spot. So just think about like the manners and the etiquette that they had back then, and just be polite and respectful and mindful of that. I like, not blasting loud music. I try to not be on my phone. I'm filming right now, which I have actually asked the spirits a lot of times. Almost every time I ask if I can film, if I can take pictures, and they love it here. They love when I take pictures and film and stuff. So that's another thing that makes me feel really safe about coming here. I am in the woods, though. There's a road, but like, make sure you have like protection, like a whistle and stuff like that. My whistle is right there sitting beside me. But trust your gut. If you really feel like drawn to a certain part, then go check it out. If you feel like you are not supposed to go somewhere, do not, you know, just trust that. But also, there's a spirit sitting beside me right here. I just saw them sit down. Also, just, you know, talk to them, introduce yourself, explain your intentions. For instance, I'm actually going to go back over there to the grave of the person who was buried, like one of the founders of this town. Sorry, my thoughts were completely lost. And I'm gonna like go introduce myself because I never actually have to him specifically, and just try to like form a relationship so that I can deepen my practice even more. Yeah, just be respectful. Don't leave anything behind unless it's like your offerings and they're biodegradable, like rose petals. I left her rose petals yesterday. Yeah, that's the basics. There's a road, so there's lots of cars driving by, but you know, sometimes it takes time to warm up to a cemetery. When I first came here, I was really scared, but you know, it just takes time to warm up. Just walk around, feel it out. Yeah. Hi, I thought I would end this video off on sharing some things that have been bringing me joy lately, and things that I have been loving. So yeah, I want to get straight into my crochet because if you guys have been watching my videos, you know that I've been crocheting this blanket, and let me just, there we go. It's getting pretty big. I would say it's like the size of a baby blanket now, but I'm gonna keep going. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep going until I run out of yarn. I don't know if I said that in a video actually, but basically that's my goal. My mom got me each of these colors for Christmas, and I'm just gonna keep going until I can't, basically just see how big it gets, because I don't have any other plans for those colors and I thought they would all be cool as a blanket. So this is super exciting. This is the biggest thing I've crocheted, and it's gone by really fast. I mean, I guess it's just one big granny square, so it's really easy, but I'm really proud of it. Another thing, I am crocheting this for my best friend Sarah. So Sarah, if you're watching this, skip ahead a few minutes, even though I've kind of told you. I've got this going. It looks like nothing, but I'm attempting to make a beanie. I've never made one before, and I'm basically just doing the tactic where you make like a giant rectangle and then you like cinch the top together and then roll the bottom up. But Sarah wears a lot of beanies. They like to like roll them so they're like super short. So I'm hoping that I made this one like short enough that it can roll nicely. I don't know, I guess we'll see. I found like a million different patterns on Pinterest and I wasn't sure which one to use, and some of them looked like overly complicated for no reason. So I decided to just go with what I know, and that is this basic pattern, which is basically, if you want to know, I just chained 40, I believe, and then you half double crochet in the back loop only. If you don't crochet, then this is like a totally different language to you. And then you flip it and then half double crochet all the way across in the back loop only. And you just keep doing that until it gets like wide enough to wrap around your head. And then you join the sides and you weave some string in the top and like cinch it closed. And then you fold up the bottom. Then it's like a beanie. Yeah, so there's that. Some other things that have been bringing me joy is coloring. I kind of briefly mentioned this and showed these coloring books in one of my other vlogs, but I have been loving it. It's been a really good way for me to just like relax and something to like keep my hands busy if I'm watching TV. First, before I got the coloring books, I have this binder and I like printed off a bunch of coloring sheets, which a lot of them are actually from these coloring books, but I found them online and then I decided I wanted to just like actually buy them and support the author or the illustrator. So we've got this spooky, cute one and this spooky vibes one. They're both little ghosty ones. They are like, they're just the cutest, and they're super simple. Look at this. It's been bringing me a lot of joy. And I've got this one. Let's see, do I have a favorite in here? I've been slowly working my way through this one. Isn't it cute? I don't have a lot of color options for my markers, so it leaves me kind of limited. And then this one is Satisfying Patterns. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's just patterns that are very satisfying to color. I did mess up on one, which makes me really upset. I messed up on this one. We're not going to talk about it. This one, I'm doing all sorts of blue, and I'm turning them into like bubbles. This one, I did hearts. It's just been bringing me a lot of joy and peace and comfort. Another one that has been bringing me joy is reading, of course. So here's a little reading update. I'm still working my way through Iron Flame. I did pre-order Onyx Storm, so it will come, I believe the week that Sarah's here. I think it comes on like the 18th or something like that. But I want to have this done by then. I'm on chapter 25. I'm about 38% of the way through it, slowly trucking through. I was listening to it on audiobook to try and get through it a little bit faster, but I noticed like nothing was making sense and I was getting really confused. So I decided to stop once I got to chapter 23. If any of you have read Iron Flame, chapter 23, I reread that chapter and then I was like, oh, like it, I don't know, it hit a little bit deeper and now I'm like invested. The same thing happened with me with Fourth Wing. It took me like 200 pages to get into Fourth Wing, which is probably like, girl, if you had to force yourself 200 pages, then you didn't enjoy it. But I really enjoyed it after the 200 pages, and that's the same thing here. It took me like 200 pages to get into it, but now I'm like, okay, this is getting somewhere. This is really going somewhere. So I am prioritizing this. But I did finish 2 books already this year. I'm really proud of myself. And they're both by the same author. They're both by Keldon. And they are The Witch's Sabbath and The Crooked Path. These are nonfiction books about witchcraft. This was the first book I finished this year, The Witch's Sabbath, an exploration of history, folklore, and modern practice. So it's really heavy on the folklore, talking about like the history of witchcraft, where the folklore comes from of like witches flying on brooms and the devil and them meeting in the forest with the devil and having feasts and all of that. And he's extremely educated. And sorry, I saw the back and I thought he had another book, but I don't think he does. Because I finished these 2 and I'm yearning for another one of his books. They were so good. I highly recommend listening to them on audiobook. If you have a hard time reading like nonfiction, try the audiobook. It really helped me, especially if you like podcasts. It's kind of just like a really long podcast. But yeah, we go over the history and the folklore surrounding witches and how it's kind of like morphed into the modern day practice. And there's lots of different practices and exercises on how to have your own witch's sabbath, and how the witch's sabbath is more of a place that you astral project to, less of a place that you actually went to. It's more of a place where people would like kind of astral project. It's considered like an out-of-body experience, which I didn't know. I learned some really interesting things from this one. So I finished this one and then I bought the trophy book because I was like, I finished it, now I have to own it. I loved it so much. And then The Crooked Path, also by Keldon. I've had this book for a couple years now, and I just like, I've started it. Like you can see I've tabbed the first couple pages, but I could never really get into it. And one of my goals is to read more like witchy books, specifically about traditional witchcraft and just my practice and stuff like that. So I jumped right on that train. And this book like will forever hold such a special place in my heart, because although it's nonfiction, like you really just go on a journey. And obviously I haven't done any of the exercises in either of these books because I was just listening to them. but just like the way that he writes is so captivating and keeps you interested, especially with it being nonfiction material. You really feel like you go on a journey with this book, and he really paves the path for explaining the folklore and history of traditional witchcraft, the way it looks in different regions, how to connect to your local environment, as well as it does briefly talk about Witch's Sabbath. I believe this was his first book. Let me look. Yeah, this one came out in 2021. This one came out in 2022. So this was his first book. He briefly talks about the Witch's Sabbath in this book, and tons of exercises on how to deepen your practice, how to connect with your practice, your ancestors, the land spirits, the environment around you. And truly, you just go on a journey, and just the way that it was written, and also the way that the audiobook narrator read it out loud, just I had such strong visualizations of me doing the exercises as they were like reading them out, and I learned a lot from this book. A lot of this I kind of knew, but I feel like this is the perfect book for if you are already kind of, both of these are the perfect book for if you're already kind of educated in like witchcraft and practices like that, and you want a more traditional, deeper look at it. These are great, but they're also super beginner friendly. But I don't know. I feel like as someone like me who has been practicing for a while and I consider myself like decently educated, it really just opened my eyes to a lot of different things, and I have a book hangover from it, basically. Like, I'm just so sad that it's done. I also was listening to it while driving a lot, and lately I've been driving through this like back road area to get to the city I work in. Instead of driving on like the main highway, I've been taking the back road, which only takes like an extra 10 minutes. And listening to this while driving through those back roads just made me feel so connected to the environment. It made me just feel so connected to my practice and myself, and I just love this book. I could yap about it forever. I yapped on FaceTime yesterday to Sarah about these books for like 10 minutes. I love these books so much. Yeah, oh, another thing bringing me joy is like my DVD collection. I have been slowly collecting DVDs since I moved out, really. I love the Walmart like $5 bin, and I'll just, anytime I go to Walmart, I'll just like dig around, check a little bit, see what I can find. I specifically love finding movies that are kind of like comforting childhood movies or horror movies. I don't know. Something about putting on a DVD and just sitting down and like crocheting or coloring is just really like healing. I don't know if it's like, this might sound weird. Maybe not weird, but like might be like, guys, it's not that deep. But to me it is. So since I'm like trying to work on my use of technology and just trying to use my phone less. I mean, I film and edit on it, but I mean like, you know, just trying to like be present and not on my phone constantly. I've been trying to watch DVDs more and read more, and I find when you watch a DVD or like a VHS, I'd love to get a VHS player and collect VHSs as well. You don't really waste the time scrolling through Netflix, scrolling through Prime or whatever you have. You kind of like put the movie on and then you sit down, and like I feel like you're more inclined to finish it because you can't just be like, oh, I don't want this, and then get up and turn it off. Like if you're gonna get up and change it, it's like a whole thing. Like you have to, especially if you're cozied up on the couch, it's like, so I feel like it helps me practice being more present. I feel like that didn't make any sense. I feel like it helps me practice being more present because it's like, I've put this DVD in, I'm gonna sit it through and just like watch it, instead of me being like, oh, I don't want this, and then trying to find something else, because it's a lot harder because now I have to get up, take it out, turn it off, put in a different one. Like it's more of a whole ordeal. So if you're lazy like me, I feel like it helps you practice presence a little bit more, and I've been really wanting to practice presence to just help connect myself to my body and my environment a bit more, as I have been coming out of really bad dissociation lately. So these are all the things that are kind of helping me with that. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I did actually have a different video planned. I was gonna do like cozy self-care. If you are subscribed to my Patreon, I post like my monthly posting schedule ahead of time, so you know what videos I'm gonna post. And I had a cozy self-care video on there. But I just like, I tried filming it like 5 different times and I was not happy with it. So I decided to just switch it up and do this. And I'm really happy with it. So yeah, if you would like to join my Patreon, we do lots of fun stuff over there. I do a little bit of a monthly book club, except for this month I've put that book on hold because I want to finish Iron Flame. I do a weekly collective tarot reading, weekly journal prompts, and like my own reflections and just like what's going on in my personal life, as well as early access to all my YouTube videos. And you get early access to the YouTube videos that me and Sarah post on our shared channel. Yeah, lots of cool fun things. I have lots of cool fun things planned. So if you want to check it out, the link is in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me out. This has been a passion and a dream of mine for as long as I can remember, and I'm just so grateful for all the support. And even if all you do is watch my videos, it makes me super happy. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.